Hi, welcome to Fourth Form Yoga. Today our sequence is going to be geared towards hockey goalies. And today I'm joined with professional hockey goalie, Eric Levine. So we're going to start today with just our mat and a strap. That's all you're going to need for your practice. Set up your yoga mat to where the long edge of your mat is facing out towards us, towards your screen. And start in a reclined position. You can go ahead and lie down on your back. And as you set up, take your legs out long towards the front edge of your mat so that your left hip is facing me towards the screen. And once you're lying down, relax your skull, find the neutral position, neutral tilt to your head, and just stare, gaze straight up. Keep your steady blank gaze up towards the ceiling, bend your knees into your chest, and take your hands onto your knees. Create butterfly circles by pulling your knees apart, down, in, around, and together. And then continue that movement just a few rounds here on your own. Slow and smooth, there's no rush. Keep it easy and organic in your form to start. And begin to slow it down and then work the opposite direction. Nice and easy, soft, fluid circles. And then finish up this next round and slow it down at your center. Once your legs are together, keep your knees bending in towards your chest. Take your arms out wide on the floor, shoulder level, and spread your fingers out wide so all of your fingernails touch down at the ground. Extend your legs straight up towards the sky, and make sure that your legs are straight up and down so they're perpendicular with the floor, opposed to bending in or falling away from you. Separate your feet a little bit wider than hip width, so maybe 12, 14 inches apart. Keep your legs straight without bending at your knees. Start to circle your feet inside to outside. Working foot circles, ankle circles. Maintain the connection to your breathing in and out through your nose. And keep a little bit of space in between your toes. A little bit of space between your toes as you move your feet. Slow it down and circle your feet in the opposite direction. Excellent. Slow down the movement of your feet. Squeeze your legs together. Bend your knees and place your feet down to the ground. Stretch your arms up towards the ceiling. And then start to give yourself a hug, taking your left arm over your right arm. Reach your hands for your opposing shoulder blades. And think about pulling your shoulder blades apart, opening the space between the back sides of your shoulders. Pull your elbows up towards the ceiling. And then lift your feet up off the ground and bring your legs into shelf position so that your knees are stacked directly over your hips, ankles in line with your knees so that your shin bones are parallel with the ground. Good. Now keep your legs there. Squeeze your knees together. Pull your shoulder blades apart. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, crunch and squeeze your elbows towards your knees. We'll do this 3 more rounds. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, crunch and squeeze. Twice more. Inhale, lower. Soft jaw, soft tongue. Exhale, crunch. Empty your breath all the way out. Navel down into the ground. Once more, inhale, lower your body. Exhale, crunch and squeeze. Empty your lungs all the way out. Inhale, lower down. Exhale as you arrive. Pause. Stretch your arms back up towards the sky and switch the cross of your arms. Take your right arm over your left arm. Reach for opposite shoulder blades. Pull your shoulder blades apart. Lift your elbows up. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, crunch your elbows up toward your knees. Lift your shoulder blades, lift your head, breathing through your nose. 3 more times. Inhale, lower down. Squeeze your legs together. Exhale, crunch. 2 more. Inhale down. Exhale, crunch. Good. Keep the game face, the soft shavasana face, if you will. One more time. Inhale down and exhale, crunch. Keep your focus. Keep your breath. Inhale, lower down. And exhale, pause. Place your feet down to the ground. And stretch your arms up towards the sky. Straighten your arms so that your wrists stack over your shoulders and start to circle your wrists inside to outside. Take your time, go slow. It's not about speed or about this humongous range of motion. It's more about finding the sense of symmetry between your right and your left hand. So they move at the same pace. They have a similar range of motion. It's like a mirror image of one another. Slow it down and then circle your wrists in the opposite direction. Mm-hmm. And then slow it down. Bend your knees in towards your chest. Grab your legs at the back of your thighs, behind your knees. And cross at your shin bones, tuck your chin to your chest. Start to rock forward and back, gain momentum. Come all the way up to a cross-legged seated position, into the Sukhasana, the seated pose. And then go ahead and move forward onto your hands and knees, tabletop. Good. Then once you're in your tabletop position with your hips over your knees, your shoulders over your wrists, walk your hands forward an extra 2.5, 3 inches. Create a little bit more space. Spread your fingers. Tuck your toes under. Navel to spine. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back in space. Press your chest toward your thighs and relax your head all the way down. Make your arms strong. Make your legs strong. And pull your belly into your spine. Narrow out your stomach and take the crease at the front of your hips. Pull it back and up in space. Back and up with the front crease of your hips. Relax your skull all the way down. And then begin to pedal out your legs. Bend one leg, straighten the other. Gentle movements from side to side. Maintain this connection to your breath. Keep your hips lifting up and back the whole time you're moving your legs from side to side. Begin to slow it down. Find the neutral downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, bend your knees, gaze forward. Exhale, step your feet forward towards your hands and find a forward fold. Let your head relax all the way down. Keep your feet at hip width distance, about 6 to 8 inches apart. Place your hands onto your shin bones. Inhale your spine halfway up and forward on the floor. Exhale, fold back down. Relax your skull, your arms all the way. Inhale, stand. Sweep your arms out and up high towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale your arms up high. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge from your hips. Relax your head and fold all the way down. Empty your breath completely. Inhale, halfway lift, monkey pose. Pull your heart forward. Draw your shoulder blades down towards your hips. Exhale, high plank. Bend your knees, plant your hands, and step your feet back to a push-up position. Hold there and pause. Look forward in front of your fingers on the floor, maybe 10, 12 inches out in front of your mat. Now, without physically moving your body, energetically stretch your heels back and your heart forward in space. Keeping those oppositional reaching energy points, take a deep breath in. Exhale, slowly lower all the way down to the ground. Bend at your elbows and lower your heart and your hips down. Press the tops of your feet to the ground. Floating cobra. Inhale, lift your chest and lift your palms up off the floor. Keep your legs down, your hips down. Exhale, release back down to the floor. Tuck your toes under. Firm your legs. Lift your kneecaps. Lift your belly button. Inhale, press up high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hips up, chest back. Relax your skull. And right away, connect to your focus. Settle your gaze at one non-moving spot. and find where your breath is at. Follow your breathing as you move your body. Take a deep breath in, bend your knees, gaze forward. Exhale, step up towards your hands, towards the front of your mat. Find a forward fold, let your head go all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, monkey pose, pull your chest forward. Exhale, fold down, relax your skull, let gravity stretch your spine. Inhale, stand, sweep your arms out and up high to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. And then pause here for a moment and just stare straight forward on the horizon. Practice this open-eyed meditation type of technique. Simply stand, stare, and breathe. And just begin to notice how your breath is moving at this very point, at this very moment in time. Keep this connection to your breath. And we're going to move through 3 more rounds of this sun salutation A variation. And so take your time and maybe move just a half second slower than my cue so you have time to connect with your breath pace and your lung rhythm. So looking forward, sink the weight down through your heels. From mountain pose, inhale, sweep your arms up high towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge from your hips and relax your head all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, monkey pose. Pull your heart forward. Float your ribs away from your hips. Exhale, high plank. Bend your knees, plant your hands, and step back without looking back. Push-up position. Hold the high plank, strong arms and legs. Take a deep breath in, stretch your heels back, heart forward. Exhale, release down to the ground. With control, squeeze your elbows into your ribs as you lower down to the ground. Press the tops of your feet to the floor. Inhale, floating cobra. Lift your chest, lift your palms. Exhale, release down. Tuck your toes under. Lift your knees, lift your navel. Inhale, press up, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Relax your skull. Find your gaze, connect to your breath. Keep your arms strong. Externally rotate your arms by rolling your biceps up towards the sky, up towards the sky. Take a deep breath in, bend your knees, gaze forward. Exhale, step forward towards the front of your mat. Find forward fold. Let your head relax all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, monkey pose. Pull your heart forward. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, stand. Sweep your arms out and up high to the sky, creating that circular movement with your arms as you reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, your arms up high. Exhale, forward fold. Navel to spine as you hinge and release all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, monkey pose. Widen your collarbones forward. Exhale, high plank. No rush to get there. Strong legs. Take a deep breath in, heels back, heart forward. Exhale, lower to the floor. Inhale, floating cobra. Lift your chest, lift your palms, stretch your toes back in space. Exhale, release back down to the floor. Tuck your toes under. Inhale, lift up, high plank, push up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Relax your skull all the way down. Keep your thighs, keep your legs engaged to lift your tailbone up and stretch your heels down simultaneously. Both actions at the same time. Inhale, bend your knees, gaze forward. Exhale, step up towards your hands, find a forward fold. Let your head rest all the way. Inhale, halfway lift, monkey pose. Lengthen your spine forward. Open your collarbones wide. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, stand arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, right back down into the next round. Inhale, monkey pose. Pull your chest forward. Keep your gaze forward on the floor. Exhale, high plank. Without changing your gaze, bend your knees, plant your hands, step your feet back. Firm your arms, your legs. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lower down to the floor. Press the tops of your feet down. Inhale, floating cobra. Lift your chest, lift your palms. Exhale, release down. Tuck your toes under. Inhale, press up high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Relax your skull. Take a deep breath in, bend your knees, gaze forward. Exhale, step forward towards the front of your mat. Find forward fold. Let your head relax all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, monkey pose. Exhale, fold down. Release. There it is. Inhale, stand. Sweep your arms up high to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Excellent. Take a quarter turn to your left so that you're facing forward towards the screen, and then step right to the center of your mat. Bring your legs to touch. Relax your arms alongside your body. Look straight forward and lean your weight back slightly. Keep your left foot down into the floor and start by just lifting your right heel up off the ground. Begin to set up for tree pose. Take the sole of your right foot to the inside of your left leg, anywhere besides your inner knee. So you can place your foot to your inner calf or to your inner upper thigh. Just make sure your foot is not pressing to the inside of your knee. Good. And then whenever you find the placement that works best for you today, you can take your hands to heart center. Find the game face, right? The soft eyes, soft skin of cheeks, skin of forehead. And then stretch your arms up high towards the sky. And think about reaching your fingers up as if your hands were an extension of your heart. Lifting your hands, lifting your heart up to the sky. And then think about the quality of wet cement as it dries into the ground. And take that quality into your left foot as if your left foot was cement, just settling and becoming solid into the floor, into your mat. Now keep your arms up. Keep the same height of your skull without letting your head drop forward, back, side to side. Slowly slide your right foot back down to the ground. And then release your arms alongside your body. Good. Resetting for the other side. Look forward, lean back just a little. Start just by lifting your left heel up off the floor. Vrikshasana or tree pose. Go ahead and take the sole of your left foot to the inside of your right leg at your calf or your inner upper thigh. Just make sure your foot's not on your knee. Right. Take a moment to adjust, and once you feel set in that right foot, that right cement foot, hands to heart center, and then you can grow the branches of your tree. Take your arms up at your pace as you're ready. Lift your heart. Extend your heart up through your hands, up through your fingertips. Keep the soft face, the soft eyes, gazing straight forward. Now keep your arms up, keep the same height in your skull, and slowly slide your left foot down to the ground. But release your arms alongside your body. A nice landing. And then take your hands to your hips. And begin to tiptoe your feet out as wide as you can, as wide as you can. When I say as wide as you can, I mean take your feet as wide as you possibly can without feeling like you're going to slip or impinge something in your inner groin, your inner knee area. And then once your legs are as wide as you can, start with a little internal rotation. Turn your toes in slightly. Keep your left foot the same And then turn your right toes out towards the front edge of your mat, towards the short edge of your mat. And then pause for a moment. Make sure you have heel to arch alignment from your right heel to your left arch. Once you have that, firm your legs like lightning bolts and press your outer heels down into the floor. Take your arms out wide at shoulder level. As you reach out through your fingertips, soften your shoulders down. Soften the muscles of your neck. There it is, just like that. Take your gaze past your right fingertips. Stamp down through your left foot. Inhale, reach forward through your right hand as far as you can. Keep reaching, keep leaning, keep reaching. Exhale, triangle. Take your right hand to the floor, outside of your right leg to the ground, and take your left arm straight up towards the sky. If it's difficult to touch your right hand down, place your right hand onto your shin bone, And if you do place your hand on your shin bone, avoid jamming the weight of your hand down. It's more of a bridge of energy, connecting the energy of your right palm to your shin bone. Firm your legs. Roll your left hip back, and then roll your right glute under. Take your right hip forward towards the front side of your body. And then imagine that there's this invisible wall behind you. Lean your ribs back into that wall. Twist your rib cage up toward your left. Lean your skull back slightly. Relax your tongue, your jaw. If it's available to look up toward your left thumb, do so. If it's tough on the neck, then just look forward in the direction of your heart, out to your left in this case. Good. Firm your legs. Look down to the floor. Game face, Shavasana face. Stamp 80% of your weight down through this left heel. Inhale, lift all the way back up to center. Exhale as you arrive and just switch your feet. Turn your right toes in and turn your left toes out. Take a moment to reset. Right, adjust as you need so that you have the heel to arch alignment. And again, long stance, keep your feet apart. Once you have the feet set, take your arms out wide, shoulder level. Reach out through your fingers and soften the skin of your shoulder blades down. There it is, kind of that medium effort type of place. Gaze past your left fingertips. Firm your legs. Stamp outer heels down. Inhale, reach forward with your left hand as far as you can. Exhale, triangle. Take your left hand to the floor outside of your leg or onto your shin. Match the same variation you did on the other side. Take your right arm up high. Firm your legs and square your hips. Roll your right hip back, scoop your left hip under. Feel in your mind the invisible wall behind you. Then lean your way back into it. Lean your spine, lean your ribs into that invisible support behind you. Roll your rib cage and your heart up toward your right pinky. And then gaze up toward your right thumb. Lean your head back a little bit in space. There it is. Again, if it's tough on your neck, look in the direction of your heart. That's a good neutral gazing position for your head in general, with lots of the yoga postures. If the rotation hurts your neck, then look in the direction of your heart. Okay, look down to the ground. Firm your legs. Stamp down through that right heel. Inhale, lift all the way back up to center. Exhale as you arrive. Good. Turn your left toes back in. And take your hands onto your hips. Pause here, firm your legs, lift your chest, take a deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from your hips, lead with your heart. And then as you release down, place your hands down to the floor under your shoulders. So it's like almost folding into a wide-legged monkey pose. Then pull your chest forward, straighten your arms, have your wrists under your shoulders. There it is. Firm your legs. Now place your right hand down directly underneath your nose, sliding it into the midline a little bit. Pull your chest forward. Begin to twist open to your left. Stretch your left arm up high towards the sky. And we're going to pause here just for a few breaths. Firm your legs. Roll your right hip back and turn your ribs up to your left. Roll your right shoulder away from your neck, away from your jaw. Soft eyes. And then slowly place your left hand down to the ground where your right hand is. Replace that hand. Firm your legs and then twist open to the other side. Good. Once you arrive, refine. Firm your legs. Roll your left hip back. Navel to spine. Turn your ribs up to the right. Soften the skin of your shoulder blades away from your head. Lean your head back a little bit. Take another deep breath in. And exhale, release your hand down to the ground. Good. Pause here. Now come up high in your fingertips and start to quarter turn to your right. Set up runner's lunge into your right leg. So walk your hands all the way over to frame your right foot, pointing towards the front edge of your mat. Bend into your front leg, straighten your back leg, your left leg. Look forward on the floor, a good foot to foot and a half out in front of your mat. And then bend your back knee a little bit. Start to walk your hands forward and come into a standing splits variation. Lift your left leg up off the ground. Point your toes, reaching back as far as you can. Straighten your right leg as much as possible. And then walk your fingers out a little bit wider. And relax your skull down. Relax your skull down. Good. And then once your head is relaxing down, dorsiflex this lifted leg. This left heel. Stretch out through your heel. And then press your heel back as far as you can. Roll your left hip down and pull your right hip back. Good. Now start to pull your chest forward on the floor a little bit. Look forward on the floor a little bit, almost like a monkey pose. And now make sure that your left hand is directly under your shoulder. So maybe you need to walk it back and in a little bit from where we are now. Take your right hand to your hip. Slowly begin to twist your chest to your right as far as you're able to. And then once you have the rotation as far as you can go, start to stretch your right arm up high towards the sky. Do your best to bring your arms in one perpendicular line with the floor. Keep this back leg pressing out, lifting up. Right? Shavasana face, game face. Even if you feel a deep, challenging sensation in your body, keep the calm, focused demeanor all the way through. Maintain your breath. Slowly bring your right hand down to the ground. Pause. Begin to bend into your right knee. Take a big step back with your left foot. Boom. Okay. Take both hands to the inside of your right foot. 180-degree turn all the way over to your left side. Frame your left leg in the runner's lunge position and pause. Start to look forward on the floor. Bend into your back knee a little bit. And then as you're ready, come into the standing splits variation to start. Walk your hands forward a good 12 inches. Lift your right leg up off the ground. Relax your head down. You can bring your fingers out a little bit wider initially, just for stability in your shoulders and your balance. Stretch back through your right heel. Roll your right hip down and pull your left hip back in space. Good. Now start to look forward on the floor. Lift your chest just slightly. And now make sure that your right hand is directly under your shoulder. So you might have to adjust it here a little bit. Yeah, palms or fingertips, whatever works. Take your left hand to your hip. And then begin to twist your chest to your left. And go slow, respecting your edge. It doesn't matter if you twist a little, if you twist a lot, if you twist a medium amount. Right? Do what's appropriate for this very moment for your body. And then stretch your left arm up high towards the sky. Do your best. No more and no less. Do your best. No more, no less. Use your breath as a tool for focus and energy. Moving slowly, bring your left hand down to the ground. Bend your left knee, take a big step back, runner's lunge. Take your time as you arrive there. Quarter turn your hands over to your right, set up for the wide-legged fold position, and then pause there. Come to that wide-legged monkey type of pose, right? Take a moment to adjust, feet out wide, wrists under your shoulders, and then slowly fold down with your upper body. Let your head go. Then take your hands to your hips, and then begin to interlace your fingers behind your lower back. Take the yoga mudra. Interlace your fingers, bend your elbows a little bit, connect your palms, and then straighten your arms. Good, just like that. In my personal opinion, I think it's more important that the palms are together than the arms are straight. So if you're having some difficulty getting the palms together, bend your elbows a little bit. Work on getting your palms together. Once your palms are together, then you can start to straighten your arms here in this yoga mudra. Relax your skull. Make your legs strong and firm like lightning bolts, connecting down to the earth. Reach your knuckles up. Widen your collarbones, soften your throat, soften your tongue. And slowly take your hands to your hips. Keep your hands there, firm your legs. Inhale, lift all the way up to center. Exhale, Exhale as you arrive. Tiptoe your feet together. Take your time, and then quarter turn to your right. Step up to the front of your mat again. This time bring your legs together. Find mountain pose, legs touching, hands together in front of your heart. The mountain pose or samastitihi, standing equally between right and left. Lean your weight back. Inhale, sweep your arms up high towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge from your hips, relax your head all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, monkey pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, plant your hands, and then take a moment, step your feet back one at a time, and then lift your hips up. Find that isosceles triangle type of shape. Find that isosceles triangle type of shape. Keep your arms strong and keep your head relaxed, folded down. Inhale your right leg up and back in space, three-legged dog. Exhale, lizard prep. Begin to shift your weight forward and take a big step forward outside your hand with your right foot. Once you're there, lower your left knee down to the ground and then pause. Just look forward on the floor and kind of lean your hips, lean your weight forward. Let gravity do some good work here. Now, if this stretch is feeling good for your left thigh and your hip flexor, just remain here and breathe. Let gravity kind of deepen the ability and flexibility in your quadricep and your hip flexor. If you're ready to go a little bit deeper, then start to reach your right arm back for your left ankle and secure that quad stretch. And you can use your strap around your ankle if that's more available for you as well. But if you do have your ankle into the quad stretch, kick into your hand with a medium amount of force to help roll your right shoulder back in space. Turn your ribs up to the sky. Lean your head back a little bit as you look up. And again, if it's tough on your neck, look in the direction of your heart, wherever that may be. And breathe. Breathe. Notice what you find in your body and breathe into that space. Breathe into that sensation. Okay, slowly. Look down to the ground. If you have the quad stretch, release. Take both hands down to the inside of your foot. And then pause there. And then pause there. Lift your back knee up off the ground. And now take a big step back into your downward facing dog. Take your time. Step back with your right foot. Lift your hips up. And find your down dog pose. Okay. Inhale your left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, lizard prep. Take a big step forward outside your wrist. Take a moment to get that. Once you're there, lower your right knee down to the ground. And then just look forward on the floor. Pause for a second. Lean forward into gravity. So much good is done into our body by using the forces of gravity, the force of natural breath, inhalation, exhalation. And then when you are ready, only if you did on the other side, work into your quad stretch. Left hand for the right ankle. If you do have the ankle, then go ahead and kick into your hand to help roll your left shoulder back in space. Lean your head back a little bit. Roll your right shoulder back as well, so your heart is expanding as your quadricep is expanding, and breathe. Slowly and mindfully look down to the ground. Take both hands down to the inside of your left foot. Tuck your back toes under, lift your knee, and slowly step back, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up, press your chest back, and pedal out your legs here just a few times. Pedal out your legs here just a few times. And begin to slow it down. Inhale your right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, lizard prep. Step forward outside of your wrist. Step forward outside of your wrist. Good. Now this time, start to walk your hands and quarter turn all the way over to your left. Take a transverse lunge to the inside of your left leg. Turn your left toes out at a 45-degree angle. Bend into your left knee. Keep your fingertips on the ground and curl your right toes straight up towards the sky. Strong dorsiflexion. Curl your toes up towards your knee. Pull your heart forward and up and look forward in space. Breathe here. Breathe here. Okay. Now moving slowly into this next position, start to walk your hands back in towards you. Start to turn your right toes forward. Place the outer edge of your right foot down. Now use the strength of your hands. Press down to the ground and slide your left knee along your forearm down to the ground. Walk your hands up your hips. Pause there. Good. Really press down through the outer edge of your right foot. Begin to slide your right hand down the outside of your leg and stretch your left arm up and over your head towards the other side into gate pose, Gate pose is a really good pose really for anybody, but hockey goalies especially, because it opens up the side body here with this internal rotation, which gives you more length and shoulder mobility when you're in your butterfly position, when you're in that knees down, open hip position. Okay. And now look forward slowly. Release both hands down to the ground. Now this is kind of an organic transition. Start to quarter turn your hands over towards your right foot as you bend into your right knee. Swing your left foot behind you. Find the runner's lunge. And then step it back to downward facing dog and pedal out your legs. And then begin to slow it down. Inhale your left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, lizard prep. Take a big step forward outside your wrists and pause. And now take your time so you have the posterior view now. Quarter turn over to your right and take the transverse lunge here into your right leg now. Lift your left toes up and take your time adjusting, especially with this pose. Right, we're taking these kind of organic, unorthodox types of transitions. Curl those left toes up as much as you can. Hands on the floor. Take your heart forward and up any amount so your collarbones stay wide as you do this pose. Okay. Now moving slowly, begin to internally rotate that left leg so your left foot goes flat to the floor. Place your palms down. And now bring your right elbow into your elbow, or your right knee into your elbow, and slide your knee down to the ground. Setting up for the gate pose. Good. Adjust as you need, straightening out that left leg. Start to walk your hands up your hips. Begin to slide your left hand down your thigh. Stretch your right arm up and over your head. Get that nice side body stretch. Helping hip strength, hip flexibility. You're increasing your side body length, which is also helping your cardiac realm. Helps your lungs and circulatory system as well. Begin to look forward in the direction of your heart and then begin to lower both hands down and take that unorthodox transition into runner's lunge towards the front of your mat. You can start to quarter turn your hands over to your left, bend into your left knee, swing your right leg behind you, and then step it back into downward facing dog. Once you're in down dog, pedal out your legs just a few rounds, side to side, side to side. And then mindfully lower down to hands and knees, tabletop position. And set up for child's pose. And let's go slow into this setup. It's going to be a little bit different than how we usually set up. So you can bring your knees out a bit wider than your hips, out to the edges of your mat if it's available. Bring the tips of your feet to touch, tips of your toes to touch with the tops of your feet to the ground. Then begin to press your hips back towards your heels any amount. And then walk your hands back a little bit so your wrists are more so under your shoulders. And keep your arms straight. Keep your hips extending towards your heels the entire time. And now slowly thread the needle with your right arm under your left arm. Right arm threads under your left arm. And then slowly bring your right shoulder and your right cheek down to the floor. And if you can get this to set, get your left hand under your cheek so your left hand kind of becomes a pillow. And then lean into the pose. You can close your eyes here if you'd like to focus on your breath. Especially in the yoga practice, this is part of what's called pratyahara, or sense attunement. Right? So when we close our eyes, more of our focus, more of attention starts to work into the natural rhythm of our heartbeat and the rhythm of our breath, and it just gets us in tune with whatever we're doing in this moment. Right? In this moment, it helps keep our focus. Okay, slowly blink your eyes open. And then mindfully come back up to the center position and then thread the needle the opposite way. Thread your left arm under your right arm. Take your time as you lower your shoulder down. You can use your right hand as a pillow for your left cheek. And once your cheek rests down, let your head, your neck completely just turn off and relax. Feel the support of gravity and breathe. This is more of the restorative aspect of this practice. You've done the hard work, right? So receive those nutrients, digest the effort through settling in and breathing deep. Okay, slowly make your way back up onto the hands and knees position. And then swing your legs out in front of you towards the front of your mat. Yeah, and it might be helpful to scoot your hips a little bit closer to the front of your mat, just a smidge. And then locate your strap. This is where we'll need the strap. So grab your strap and then mindfully recline down onto your back. Good. And once you're lying down, have your legs long on the floor, squeeze your legs together. And then stretch your heels away from you as if there was a wall at the base of your feet and you're stamping your feet into the wall. So keep that in your mind and in your muscle memory. Bend your right knee into your chest and take your strap around your right foot at the ball mounds of your foot. Make sure it's not at the arch and it's not at the heel. Yeah, the ball mounds of your foot, so you have that pressing power. And then see if you can get your legs straight up and down, so it's not necessarily pulling in, it's perpendicular with the ground. Stretch your heel up and then use the strength of your arms in this strap connection to plug your thigh bone down into the hip socket. Right, so from the back of your knee up to the back of your heel, you're stretching up. From the front of your knee down to the front of your hip, you're plugging down into the ground. Spread your toes out wide. There it is. Now take both ends of the strap into your right hand. Take your left arm out wide to the side. Open up your fingertips. Now keep that your left shoulder pinning down to the ground. Do not let your left shoulder lift. And now externally rotate your right foot. Turn your right toes out to the right as much as you can without pain and without bending your knee. So keeping your leg straight, keeping your left shoulder down. Take your leg out and over to the right as far as you can. Again, without lifting your shoulder, without bending your knee. And then once you find your edge, pause. And you can bend your right elbow a little bit to help kind of secure the depth of the pose without going too far. And then once you have your depth, keep your legs active. Turn your head to your left, towards your left thumb. Eyes open or closed. It's your choice, but keep your legs engaged. This is an active leg pose. Even though we're reclined, this is an active leg pose. Good. Get all your left fingernails to the floor. So you get that little extra bit of external rotation. Firm your legs, roll your head back to center first. Be mindful, not forceful. And bring your right leg back up to center and switch hands. Take both ends of the strap into your left hand. Take your right arm out wide, get all your fingernails down. Now keep your right shoulder down. Keep your leg straight and internally rotate your right leg here. Turn your toes in towards the midline as much as you can. And you'll notice, oftentimes in our body, it's more difficult to get a lot of internal rotation than external rotation. And that's completely natural. So just see where you are, right? Turn your toes in as much as you can. And now start to take your leg over to your left as far as you can without lifting the right shoulder. You can even turn your left toes out to the left here to help you out if that's available. And kind of roll to your outer left hip. Just make sure that right shoulder stays down. Good. Once you find your edge, pause there without bending your knees. See if you can pull your right shin toward your left armpit any amount. Turn your head to your right. Eyes open or closed. Either way, breathing. Spread the space between your toes. Think about widening your toes and lengthening your heels. Slowly roll your head back up to center. With control, lift your leg back up to center. And now slowly bend your right knee, take your right leg long on the ground. Just have your strap by the side here for a second. Then once you relax your legs, just pause, stare straight up wherever you're looking and breathe. Observe and notice the difference between your right leg, your left leg, but also your hips and the right and left low back, right? Our hamstrings in the back of our leg. It affects so much more than just our legs. It affects how we stand with our hips, how we use our lower spine, our core, our pelvic floor, right? So the hamstrings really kind of unlock or lock up the potential we have in our hips. And this is why they're so important for athletes in general, especially hockey goalies. It's really good for anybody, but the hamstrings are almost necessary to have lengthen if you want to develop as an athlete. So go ahead and bring your legs back to touch. Find that midline. Let's do the other side. Go ahead and bend your left knee in towards you. Place your strap on the ball mounds of your left foot and take your leg straight up. Get the perpendicular leg. Right, so it's straight up and down. You're not pulling it in necessarily. And watch out for that. Right, one of the release valves, the things that happens for most people is when we get the leg up, we tend to pull it in towards us. Right, it's not necessary. Just get your leg straight up and down. And this is a little bit better for resetting your sacrum and creating that really stable low back and hip health. So stretch your heel up, widen your toes. And then take both ends of the strap into your left hand. Take your right arm out wide. Right fingertips out wide. Get all your fingernails down. Externally rotate this left leg. Turn your toes out as much as you can without pain, without bending your knee. And then take your leg over to your left as far as possible without lifting your right shoulder. Right? So respect your edge. Respect your edge. We're looking for proper alignment and depth. Right? Getting both the stability and flexibility here. Then turn your head to your right. Eyes open or closed. Again, it's your choice. It's your choice. What's important is that you just connect to your breath and you sustain the pose. Right? This is not an easy pose. It's not necessarily a comfortable pose, but it's important that you stick with it from beginning to end so you really get the fruits of your labor here. Mm-hmm. Okay, slowly roll your head back to center. Mindfully lift your leg back up. And then pause at the top. Switch hands. Take both ends of the strap to your right hand, left arm out to the side. Internally rotate your left leg. Keep your left shoulder down. And then take your leg over to your right as far as you can. You can turn the other toes to the right as well. Just make sure that that left shoulder stays down. And then once you find your edge wherever it is on this side, turn your head to your left. And it's nice to note here as well how this leg feels, especially the outer leg, the IT bend that you're probably feeling at this point. It's nice to notice how this feels comparatively from right to left. This tells us a lot about our posture, and it tells us a lot about our power legs or our power leg as athletes, especially as goalies or any athlete in general. We have a tendency to lean more to one side for whatever reason, just the habituation of our body. Right, so we're not looking to correct anything or perfect anything here. We're looking for observation. Notice, does this leg feel tighter or more open than the other leg? It gives you a lot of insight into how you can train. Slowly roll your head back up to center, and then roll your leg back up to center. Bend your knee. Take both legs out long on the ground and then just pause for a moment. Let your legs rest. Let your spine breathe. Okay. One more pose. Setu Bandhasana, or the bridge pose. So keep your strap close to you. Bend your knees and place your feet down to the ground. Without using your hands, walk your heels toward your hips as close as you can naturally without pulling the hands. Keep your feet hip-width distance. And then take your strap on either side of your body, on the right or the left, and then just keep it there. Yep. And then relax your head on the ground and start to lift your hips up off the ground. Just float your hips to start, kind of a very soft bridge pose. And then grab a hold of your strap with your palms up so you have the external rotation in your arms. Take a moment to situate the strap under your hips, under your thighs, So your palms are up, and then grip the strap and pull the strap apart so you maintain tension on the strap between your hands the whole time. Plug the head of your arm bones down into the floor and burst the center of your chest up. Soften your navel down into your spine and lift both of your hip bones up equally. And try not to jam or really press through your feet. It's just like the tree pose. Think about your feet becoming cement into the floor. And use that as a power of ground force reaction to get those hip bones up. Hip bones up, belly softens down. Center of the heart up, shoulders pressed down. And then keep your gaze straight up towards the ceiling. Avoid turning your neck in this position, right? It's dangerous to turn your head here. So just keep the neutral head, neutral gaze, and let your tongue relax towards the back of your throat. Release the tip of your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Let that go. Let that go and breathe. And hang out here for just a little bit longer. And mix the two qualities of strength and meditation here in this back bend, in this little mini inversion. Right? Find the balanced blend between strength, lifting up here, and meditation, breathing, settling into it. Take one more deep breath in. And exhale, gently roll your spine down to the ground. Once your hips touch down, you can slide your strap. I'll take this over here, just all the way over to the side. And then settle in for Shavasana. Take your legs out long on the floor. Bring your legs a little bit wider than mat width distance. Turn your toes out to the sides. Take your arms up and over your head, tall and a little bit wider, like a broad V shape for victory. And bring your arms as wide as you need to in order to relax your elbows and your wrists. If your elbows and wrists are lifting up off the floor, bring your arms wider and wider until they relax. And once you're set with your limbs, close your eyes, and it's like you're hitting a light switch. Turn it all off. Turn the muscles off. Let yourself rest. And give yourself permission to relax in stillness. Stillness in our body, especially after a vigorous practice, whether it be on the yoga mat, on the ice, on the athletic field, elsewhere. Our nervous system does really well with stillness. The pause in movement helps us to digest all of the practice, all of the effort, so that our body becomes stronger and recovers more effectively, more efficiently. And so embrace that natural power of your body here and now, and just rest. Keep your eyes closed. Keep your body completely still, almost like a sandbag, just resting into the floor. Give yourself some time here and connect with your breath before you move on from this practice into the rest of your day. Give yourself 10 deep breaths here in Shavasana. Take your time, 10 breaths, all the way in, all the way out. And if you have more time past the 10 breaths to just rest and chill out for 5, 10, 15 minutes, do so. But if all you have time for is 10 breaths, make sure that you get all 10 of those breaths. Take your time, rest in Shavasana. And after you're done with Shavasana, whenever that is, take your time and move slow into whatever you have going on next. Thank you so much for joining myself and Eric in this yoga practice today for Hockey Goalies. Namaste.